That's a beautiful tune, Mr. Walter. Do you always play around this time of year?
Oh, yes. Music has been my companion for decades, especially on New Year's Eve. It helps me reflect on the journey I've taken and the lessons I've learned.
Reflecting is so important, isn't it? Can you share a New Year's story that stands out in your memory?
I'll never forget the New Year of 1950. I was just a 15-year-old boy, and my father did something special that year. He gathered the family around, handed us pieces of paper, and told us to write two things. One thing we were grateful for from the past year, and one hope for the year ahead. He called it sending wishes into the wind.
That's such a unique tradition. What did you write on your paper that year?
I remember it clearly. I wrote that I was grateful for surviving a tough year on the farm. It had been a hard winter, and my hope, I wished to learn the guitar. Funny how life works. Both those things shaped me in ways I couldn't have imagined.
That's incredible. Do you think this tradition could benefit us in today's fast-paced world?
Without a doubt, we're all so busy chasing the next thing that we forget to pause and look back. Imagine how much better 2025 could be if everyone spent a few minutes reflecting on their blessings and dreaming about their future. It's about grounding yourself and finding balance between gratitude and ambition.
You're giving timeless life advice, Mr. Walter. I think I might try this myself, writing down gratitude and hope. It sounds like the perfect way to start the new year.
Do it, Alex. When you send your wishes into the wind, it's not just an exercise. It's a way of connecting with what really matters. And who knows, those wishes might guide you in ways you never expected.
You've given me so much to think about. If everyone took time to reflect as you do, the new year might feel less daunting and more meaningful.
Yes, it's a small act, but it's powerful. Gratitude keeps you grounded and hope keeps you going. That's how you build a life worth looking back on.
Reflecting on gratitude and sending hopeful wishes into the new year isn't just a tradition. It's life advice that empowers us to create a meaningful and fulfilling 2025. Mrs. Lively, you look radiant today. That bouquet of flowers you're holding is stunning. Is there a story behind them?
Oh, absolutely, Alex. These flowers are from my neighbor's little garden. She brings them to me every New Year's morning, a tradition we've had for the past decade. It's such a small act, but it fills me with so much joy every time.
That's beautiful. It seems like you truly value these simple moments. What advice would you give to people stepping into 2025?
Life isn't in the grand plans or far off dreams. It's right here in the present. I used to spend years chasing big goals, always thinking I'll be happy when, but now at 87, I know that happiness comes from appreciating.
That's so insightful. Can you share a specific example of when you started to shift your perspective?
Of course, when I turned 70, I started planting a small rose bush in my garden. At first, I hardly paid it any mind because I was so busy. But one morning, I just stopped. I noticed how the roses bloomed, their vibrant colors, their subtle scent. That tiny moment of mindfulness changed my life. I realized life is full of treasures like that, but only if you pause long enough to notice them.
That's such a relatable example. Many of us get caught up in our busy lives and overlook those precious moments. How do you suggest people can apply this wisdom to make 2025 a better year?
Start by slowing down. Don't rush through your days as if they're a checklist. Instead, notice the laughter of your loved one, the warmth of a cup of tea, or the kindness of a stranger. Keep a small gratitude journal. Write down one thing every day that made you smile, no matter how small. Over time, you'll see the present as something truly magic.
That's a wonderful idea. So often, people think they need big changes to feel fulfilled, but you're saying the answer is in these small moments.
Exactly. The future will always be uncertain, but when you embrace the present, you'll find a kind of peace that no plan or accomplishment can give you.
That's inspiring, Mrs. Lively. What's the one thing you'd like everyone to take away from this conversation?
But just remember, Alex, the present is a gift. If you open it with gratitude every day, you'll create memories worth cherishing and a life without regret.
To build a better 2025, embrace Mrs. Lively's timeless life advice. Treasure the present and watch it transform your outlook on life. Mr. Bennett, I couldn't help but notice how focused you are. What are you working on?
It's an old clock I picked up at a flea market. It was broken, but I'm giving it a new life. Fixing things is one of the ways I keep my mind sharp.
That's incredible. Even at 87, you're still learning and creating. It's inspiring. How do you stay so adaptable to new challenges?
And my years, these change is inevitable, but it's also an opportunity. I wasn't always so open to it, though. When I retired, I felt lost. My work had been my identity for decades. But instead of resisting, I decided to embrace the change and explore new interests. That's when I picked up clockmaking.
That's such a great story. Many people fear change, especially as they grow older. What advice would you give for embracing change in 2025?
Don't fear change. Lean into it. It's not always easy, but every change brings a chance to grow. For me, retiring was a huge shift. I could have spent my days reminiscing, but instead I chose to reinvent myself. Whether it's learning a new skill, meeting new people, or even facing challenges, each moment of change can lead to something beautiful if you're willing to see it that way.
Can you share a specific moment when embracing change transformed your life?
Certainly, after retiring, I joined a local community center's woodworking class. At first, I felt out of place. Everyone else seemed to know what they were doing, but I told myself, Arthur, you can't grow if you don't try. That decision not only gave me a new skill, but also introduced me to a group of friends who've become like family. Change doesn't just shift your circumstances, it expands your world.
That's amazing. How can people take your advice and apply it to their lives as they step into 2025?
Start with small steps. Take on something new, even if it feels uncomfortable. Sign up for a class, try a new hobby, or reconnect with someone you haven't spoken to in years. The key is to say yes to opportunities instead of closing yourself off. Change might feel unsettling at first, but on the other side of it is growth and joy.
Such wise words, Mr. Bennett. What's the most important thing people should remember about embracing change?
Change keeps you alive, Alex. It's what makes life an adventure. So when the winds of change come your way, don't resist, set your sails, and let them guide you. You'll find that life always has more to offer.
As we move into 2025, remember Mr. Bennett's profound life advice. Don't fear change. Embrace it. Now, take a moment to think. What's one change you've been avoiding? Maybe this is the year to face it head-on and discover something extra. Let's make 2025 a year of growth. Together, Mrs. Hart, you look incredible. I have to ask, what's your secret to staying so active and full of energy at 90?
Thank you, Alex. It's no secret. It's all about taking care of your health. I treat it like the most precious gift because without it, everything else in life becomes harder to enjoy.
That's such a powerful mindset. Have you always been this committed to your health?
Not always. In my younger days, I didn't pay much attention to it. I thought being busy was more important than being healthy. But when I turned 60, I had a small heart issue that made me realize I was taking my health for granted. That moment changed everything.
Wow, that must have been eye-opening. What did you do to turn things around?
I started with small steps, literally. I began walking every morning like I'm doing now. Then I changed my diet, more vegetables, less junk. I even learned to meditate to keep my mind calm. Over time, these little changes added up, and now, 30 years later, I feel stronger and happier than ever.
That's truly inspiring. What advice would you give to people as they step into 2025?
Take care of your health like it's a gift you want to last a lifetime. Start small, like I did. Go for a walk, drink more water, get enough sleep. Your body will thank you in ways you can't even imagine.
Many people struggle to prioritize their health, especially with busy lives. What would you say to those who feel they don't have time?
I'd say this: if you don't make time for your health now, you'll be forced to make time for illness later. Your body doesn't need hours at the gym or fancy routines, just consistent care. Remember, every small effort counts.
What a beautiful story. So, as people look to 2025, what's the one thing they should remember about their health?
Treat your health as the foundation for everything else you want to achieve, whether it's spending time with loved ones, traveling, or just enjoying the simple joys of life. It all starts with a healthy body and mind. Cherish it, nurture it, and it will reward you with years of happiness.
As we welcome 2025, Mrs. Hart's timeless life advice reminds us that our health is the most precious gift we'll ever have. What's one small change you can make today to honor that gift? Let's step into the new year stronger, healthier, and more grateful together. To Happy New Year. Mrs. Whitmore, it's incredible to see you so engaged with the newspaper. At 95, you seem as curious and vibrant as ever. It's inspiring to think about all the stories you've witnessed and lived through. But tell me, in your experience, what has been the most valuable lesson you've carried through all these years?
Hey, Alex, life has taught me many things, but one lesson shines the brightest for you: create memories, not regrets. At my age, you realize that it's the moments you've truly lived, the laughter, the love, the adventures that stay with you. The rest, it fades like the ink on this newspaper.
That's such a profound thought. You know, so many of us get caught up in our day-to-day routines, focused on deadlines, responsibilities, and saving for a better tomorrow. It's easy to forget the importance of the present moment. Was there a particular turning point in your life when this lesson became clear to you?
Absolutely. Alex, in my younger days, I was guilty of the same thing, working tirelessly and telling myself one day I'll have time for this or that. But when my husband passed away in my 60s, it hit me: time doesn't wait. I look back and realize there were so many moments we could have enjoyed more, if only we had made them a priority. That realization changed how I approach life.
That's such an empowering mindset. Many people hesitate to do what you've done. They're afraid of stepping outside their comfort zones or worry they don't have the time or resources to make memories. What would you say to them, especially as they prepare to start a new year?
I tell them this: don't wait for the perfect moment, because it doesn't exist. Every day has the potential to give you a memory worth keeping if you let it. Take that trip, have that conversation, hug someone you love. The future isn't guaranteed, but the present is right here waiting for you to embrace it.
What a touching story. It's a reminder that the most beautiful memories are often tied to the people we share them with and the emotions they evoke. As we approach 2025, what would you say to everyone out there, young or old, about how to make this year one of memories, not regrets?
I'd say this: look for opportunities to connect, to celebrate, and to simply be present with the people you care about. Memories are created in the now, not in some distance someday. So take a step toward the life you want to remember. Make this year a chapter you'll smile about when you look back at 95.
As Mrs. Whitmore's story reminds us, the best life advice is to focus on creating memories, not regrets. As we step into 2025, what's one moment you'll prioritize this year to create a memory that lasts a lifetime? Start now and make this new year unforgettable. Happy New Year! Cheer begins, embrace timeless wisdom. Cherish the present, nurture relationships, prioritize health, welcome change, and create lasting memories. Start living fully today for more inspiration and life lessons. Subscribe to LEVVA and join us on this journey to a brighter, more meaningful year. Let's grow together.